See, it's all about how to create an ecosystem. And as I've been quite vocal in the social media, that the ecosystem for the autistic fraternity is quite broken. And nutrition is just one of the aspects. With nutrition, you have the other therapies, you need reforms in the government policies, and a lot of research, funding in the research need to be done. And as I always say, prevention is better than cure. We need to understand what is the root cause of children getting into autism. So yeah, Seema ji, please continue.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. So I'm Seema Siddiqui, presently doing my Ph.D. under the guidance of Dr. Asna Root at the University of Mysore. Can you hear me?
Yes, properly.
Am I audible, Arnav?
Yes.
Okay, so I will be just discussing about, as ma'am has already spoken about what are the etiology, I mean, what are the causes and what are the problems faced by these children. Children being a vulnerable group, they are most targeted by nutritional issues and other concerns. So it is a need of the hour to see what exactly happened. So I'm here to present about what dietary problems and what can be done through the nutritional side of things. So I'll be presenting on dietary problems and therapy, how to tackle these issues, because in every disease it is only the food which is the main, though it is like medicines, but combination with food is the only road to recovery in this disease conditions. So the overview of, I'm sure everybody what is autism and what exactly it is, and related to what are the myths, because autism, it's like it is a fact and it is also being proven. But the thing is, there are general myths which has been associated with this autistic if we see, because I'm doing my research for the last 2.5 to 3 hours, 3 years in scheduled meetings. Okay, so about so nothing but it's one of developmental disorders which is included under the umbrella of pervasive developmental disorders. So this is called as PDDs. So I think I will rush through the main part of nutrition because ma'am has already spoken about this thing. So mainly, what are the features affected in ASD children? So it is mainly the social interaction, the communication, the language. They're not able to reciprocate like the normal children, how they do. So this all starts with the developmental milestones. When they don't reach this developmental milestones, there is a problem after. So it has to be rectified when it has been identified by the pediatrician, physician, whoever. And the first is from the mother. Okay, then they also have sensory and movement pattern, then just like flapping hands or rounding there itself, circling, they'll make all circles. So they also have resistance to challenge and also intellectual functioning. So how is the pattern? So I'm interested in knowing why exactly it is increasing. So ASD is emerging as one of the most common developmental disabilities. So we have a quite of 18 to 20 developmental disabilities which the Indian government has formed. So among that now it is like ASD has been on the rise. So why it is like increasing? It is mainly due to the ratio or the prevalence or incidence rate is nothing but it is due to the advances in diagnosis or early recognition. So we are able to make early recognition what is exactly. So also the parents know, they are also keen to provide the intervention therapies at the start. So for example, 1.5 to 2 years is the span to the children to speak up. So when the children doesn't speak up, they are like keen to provide them what exactly is happening. So the advances in all this technology has gone us to take us this alarming rise in autism. So though we don't have any particular etiology or the risk factors why this is on the rise, but a combination like genetic factors, as ma'am has already told, because of the mother, when the child may be in the fetus due to other susceptibility to any vaccination, or the environmental factors which can trigger, which can all end up in other medical comorbidities which is being found in the mother during the gestation. And all this could be the probable risk factors to develop a child with the autism. So now coming to what is the importance of nutrition. So these children, first of all, these are children and they are very vulnerable group. So as their growing period, their growth rate has to be monitored. So that is one of the vital important thing, not only in the autistic children, but in also almost everybody we look into. So how is the growth pattern? So here the children need all the important nutrients, whether it is a macro or the micro. So from the nutritional point of view, we speak about the macronutrients, which are the carbohydrates or proteins, fats, which are very important for their development. So along with this thing, micronutrients like vitamins, minerals, everything are very important for the normal growth and development, and also to maintain the healthy status of a well-being. But here when it comes to autistic children, it has to be not only the physical health, but it's also the mental health. We all know mentally how is important for a child to be developed. So they're very essential at the the growing period. So they are very important. So how is all this plays a very important. So this is
Seema ji, here one
in
question.
Health and
one small question.
Yes.
Why the parents are not understanding the value of nutrition? Is it because of less?
That is what. Yeah, I just wanted to tell, because everybody, all the mothers know what actually they have to feed. They have to go back to their traditional grandmothers, what they were feeding. It is only because of now every mother has a Android phone or advertisement Google. So कोई भी बहाना मार दो, Google पे जाके देख लेते हैं. So Google has become one doctor type. So
we have 10
I
minutes,
just don't
Seema.
want to suggest on cut off all the. Yes, yeah, I will be rushing. So, so what problems these autistic children? So they, as I has told, they consume very less foods on an average than the normal. Variety. Then there is no variety. So are selective and very repetitive and very picky eaters. It is highly evidence based also, all research. Though the refuse foods, there is no food, new food which they can consume. So they just want 1 week the same food. For example, on the morning, if they want chapati, the entire days they want the chapati itself. They don't want any variety or any change in their diet patterns as well. So because of all this, they may end up in having lost in adolescence or the adult, because today is a child, tomorrow it will be an adult. So we want a healthier adults, though it is an autistic children. What are the different behaviors? They will not sit for meals properly. They have to be smelling before inspection. This is called as then food neurophobia, then other things. So this is all sensory disabilities one can expect in an autistic child. So they can always vomit the food if they don't like. It is not the case if they don't like. They like, but the thing is they don't want to try out new food or the new color or the new place. They are very particular about the crockery and also sitting, because they doesn't want their position to be sat at the table to be occupied by their siblings, not even their parents. So this is what I'm encountering when I'm giving them the counseling. So they will want to eat with the fingers. They doesn't want. So it is a very good type, because they are rooting into their traditional behavior. Then coming to all these types, what are nutritional issues? So they may have feeding problems, selective eating, food refusals, aversions, restrictive diets. All these things will have the impact on developmental mentality, and also increases the health complications. So what will happen? So when they end up all these things, ma'am was stressing about the gluten-free and the casein-free. So this will be elimination diets. Their parents doesn't want their child to suffer. So what they'll do is they'll shift on to the eliminating the foods. So what will, if they have this gluten or casein diet in their daily diet, what will happen is they can end up in malabsorption or maldigestion. Okay, so this improper digestion of the gluten or casein will end up in maldigestion, and this will have the bacterial overgrowth or the dysbiosis which is happening. So at the end, they can end up with the GI symptoms, like either they may face with diarrhea, constipation, flatulence, or any other abdominal pain. So what are these dietary risk factors? So how they can end up? So this is because of the food additives, like for example, the artificial flavors or the colors or the preservatives which has been added in all the junk food. So this can end up, because these people cannot take up the children cannot take up this food. So the body does not take up all this. So this is from the scientific background what exactly happens. So along with this gluten and casein problem, they may also face food allergies. Okay. Then this
so you are convinced that
has already spoken.
Yeah, Seema, you're already convinced that gluten and casein is a big no-no for the autistic children. Are you 100% convinced?
It is a big, it is a no-no, but the thing is we cannot directly fully take it out from them. Slowly you have to just feel what is the role. I mean, I'm coming to a point, Arnabji. So here, how is the approach to be given? So it is not first who can manage an autistic children. It has to be a multidisciplinary. The management team for this ASD is speech language pathologist, the pediatrician or the physician, and the audiologist. A dietitian is a very important role. So you have to consult a nutritionist or a dietitian who is well versed in giving this before eliminate the diet. So that is what I want to stress upon the thing. So because a dietitian or the clinical nutritionist will know. Hello? Okay. So I was telling about the gluten and casein, and which can be broken down into opiate peptides. This is what it enters the blood-brain barrier, and you can see the healthy status and the spread disease microbiota. So here I just wanted to stress upon how is the normal gut physiology and the abnormal gut function in autistic children. So they will have increased level of inflammatory cells or the mediated intestinal, which is called the dysbiosis. So along all these things will lead to the vicious cycle of leaky gut. So this will be like nutrient malabsorption, then the immune response, the GI disease, other food intolerances, and once end up in other intestinal inflammation. Coming to the how to go about the dietary management. So most of the ASD individuals have the low level of food acceptance. So most cases requires a trial and error, as ma'am was telling about, to have different variety using the composite flours what Arnav has, that is like Spotify gluten free. So it is all having the natural flours. Then you have to keep recording what is important to track and develop the diet strategies, and also to add the foods before we have to make a minus or the subtractions. Then we have the feeding issues. This I think I've already spoken. So what is the answer for this is, we met during we had one workshop organized in this year to February. Then we just could meet him, and he was with this Spotify, that is gluten free exclusively. He has developed it for the autistic children. Then
it comes in this type of pack, 1 kg pack.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So for that Spotify, as with using this composite flour, we have developed. Man has already spoken what exactly is that. So here in that we tried out different recipes. So I tried with keeping in mind the children liking. So I tried with cookies and muffins. So this is what the picture you can see.
Is it 100% Spotify?
No, no. It is not 100%, because I tried different variations and different proportions.
Okay.
60-40, I tried with 30-40. But I ended up because sensory attributes is very important for a new product to be, because it has to be liked by the panelists as well.
Yeah.
So keeping in mind the target population, ma'am told about the proportions to be tried out. So along with her guidance, I have tried with 50-50 ratio. So 50 was the control flour and 50 was the Spotify flour. Using this, I have developed cookies, cupcakes, that is muffins. Then I have also tried with the custom-based recipes, that is regional, because cookies and cakes everybody can't have every day. So it has to be like what is the breakfast recipe. So I tried with akki roti, the chawal roti, then also with dosa. So you just have to make the batter as you. The only thing is you can add little bit of curds. So there's also a very good probiotic, source of probiotic, which can is very good for the healthy gut for the autistic children. So as in the normal dosa preparations, we have to ferment, keep it the rice soaked for 6 to 8 hours. So the thing is, with this gluten-free flour, you can just have to instantly do that batter along with adding little bit of curds with that. So this is.
So Seema ji, this is a part of your PhD work that you are doing.
Yes. So this was one of my objectives. I'm also giving nutritional counseling for some cohort of children, so
Okay.
Taking their parents' consent. So for them,
Yeah, I think
here
I would like to put one more point. Like when I done my masters in 2004 to 6, so 2 years of masters in food science and technology. What is mainly seen is when people go for a PhD project, PhD or master's project, if your thesis work is not applicable to the society, those type of scientific work is mainly to just write a research paper. But what Seema is doing is, through her PhD work, she's also trying to apply her understanding and knowledge directly into the society. So this really is a very important aspect, and this is a learning for all the future researchers and young scientists, that please, whatever you do in your lab, that has to benefit the humans and our society, and at a very fast pace. You cannot be just keeping a thesis, getting a degree and keeping it in the cupboard and thinking of getting a job. What Seema is doing is she is trying to understand whether her PhD work is applicable into the society or not. So really, I really commend Seema, and I think this is the right approach to understand, is your science is really applicable or not. Yeah, please continue, Seema ji.
Yeah, thank you for that. So along with this, there is a lot of combinations. As I have told, there is like trial and error. Whatever the mothers they want to give variety to the children, they can include. So these are some of the. I just did not get the Indian-based snack ideas, but sure I have projected about Western diets. But we can always tailor-made to our custom-based, and we can try it out. It's not only the thing is you cannot completely eliminate the foods. So along with the normal whatever is seasonal, the custom based recipes and the snack ideas can be taken it and have a positive. Important aspect is also the millets. So it has to be introduced in slowly. It has a very beneficial. The only problem is a high fiber, but we have to experiment with the combinations, and sure we are going to benefit with this very important class group of food groups. Then it needs to be familiar with the grains. That, as I told, they are very choosy with their food products. So it has to become familiar with the grains. Then only so involve them. So I just wanted to tell the mothers who are facing the problems. I have encountered various problems right from the feeding issues, and the thing is they will just, the mothers know, they just want to get rid of their meal time. So what they'll do is they'll grind it and they just gobble it this the children, so that everything is gone to their stomach, because I can understand the problem the mothers are facing. So along with this thing, the dietary supplements may also be certainly be essential at that time. So here I have just
Seema ji,
projected what
I
can be
would also like to make a point here that our startup is currently focusing on GFCF and SF diet. Okay. So gluten-free, casein-free, soya-free diet. Sometimes what happens is, due to the lack of variety in the cuisines, people also try out soya. But in your study, you can also make a slight another group of people who are given gluten-free, casein-free, and soya-free. Maybe you may not have the time during your PhD, but maybe after your PhD, you can also form a group of people who are following the GFCF SF diet also.
Yes. Yes, thank you for that suggestion, Arnab. I will sure take that in mind and do it in my future research work. So, okay, so I just want to conclude by saying, so these are the food groups which can be, because we have generally 7 to 8 food groups. So along with that thing, there is always don't, which is very important when it comes to food groups. So all the wheat, refined grains, maida, white processed products, especially the ready to eat, serve, ready to eat, fried foods are always a no-no, not only for the autistic children, but also for the normal children. Then carbonated beverages, like they just give the empty calories. Then high fat biscuits and other things has to be a complete ban. You can just tell it is a ban only. Then along with this thing,
avoid the artificial
we can have the good habits that not like eat from all food groups, avoid the artificial colors and additives in the diet. They just give the appearance to better. They will not add anything. So it's better to avoid them than have a small and frequent meals. Then probiotic, which even mango, just a yogurt or a cup of curd will work wonders for the gut. So it is like a little about what we had done. We had done a nutritional assessment and eating habits of children in the Mysore region. So when it comes to how is the nutritional indicators, how we have to measure, it is about we saw the underweight and stunted growth in the age group of these children. So almost 53 children out of 53, we could see 35% were stunted for their age. So this is very alarming. So we have to see what can be done to the diet. So almost 76% has lower skin fold values and mid upper arm circumference, indicating their lower muscles and protein status. So I was telling about the importance of protein at the growing micronutrient and the macronutrient status. Though there was adequate amount of macronutrient status like the carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, at severe or I can tell as 100% deficient in calcium, iron, zinc, all the B vitamins like B1, B2, B3, as well as vitamin C, which is very important point from nutritional view.
there are questions in the chat box, and if there is any questions we can answer now, we will answer after this presentation.
So I would conclude that deficiency of these micronutrients is very clearly evident from their dietary patterns and all the other food related behavior issues, which should be targeted at the early stage of childhood. And the parents or the caretakers or the guardians need to be educated on the long-term complications of these micronutrient deficiencies among these children. As this is a public health concern and the necessity, diet is a very powerful tool and is a road to recovery in any disease conditions. So with this, I just want to tell, better nutrition will build up a stronger immune system and a better health. Thank you.
Thank you, Seema ji. I think it is a very nice presentation. In spite of all this technical IT glitches and network issues, but we are trying to drive home the main message. The main message in today's presentation is basically that if you focus on the nutrition, definitely your child will be in a better state as compared to just giving any type of diet to your child who is having any sort of autism or a delayed development, DD milestone, if he or she is missing any milestone. Yeah, we'll end this meeting with your words, and Dr. Asna.
As ma'am has already spoken about what can be done and what cannot be, and you also have stress upon the importance of nutrition at before the age of 8, or because as you have told, it is like today's autistic children are tomorrow's adults. So we just don't want the kids to be unhealthy. So when they approach their adulthood, it is definitely to be on a healthier. So this healthier children we have to buy, because that is the young India we have to build up. So that is the need of the hour. And I would just stress upon good nutrition. We can definitely reach to whatever we have been set up. So thank you, Arnab, for giving us this opportunity on behalf of
I'm obliged. I'm obliged with your work and
on my own behalf. I thank you for taking up this initiative and reaching to the community level. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah.